There's nothing like cracking that cellophane and pulling that record out. It just smells great.
Welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Non-stop hardcore energy.
I love the show, guys. You're awesome.
Unlike any other.
With your host, John the Bod, a.k.a. the Bod Father.
Man, this stuff rocks.
The views and opinions of the guests do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of BODS Mayhem Hour, its staff, affiliates, or sponsors. Parental discretion is advised. Welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Hey, this is John from the band Mile Marker Zero, and you are watching BODS Mayhem Hour.
Hey, everybody, welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour. I am your host, John the Bod, a.k.a. the Bod Father, and as always, I am bringing you guys and gals awesome interviews. Today, it's an honor and a huge privilege to welcome back John Tuohy of Mile Marker Zero. And they have released their new single entitled Best Is Yet to Come off their new upcoming album, Coming of Age. And it's good to have John back on here because it's been since 2018 since John has been on the show. So John, how you doing, man? And how's it going?
Hey, man, I'm doing well. It's good to see you. Thanks for having me on the show to represent Mile Marker Zero.
How excited are you guys to release this new single entitled Best Is Yet to Come? In? Did the song turn out exactly the way you guys wanted it to?
It's a great question. Yes, very, very excited. This was, I hate to use the term pandemic project because that's been thrown around a lot, but it's, we were going to start writing it just around the time of lockdowns. And so it just happened that we're supposed to get together. Like normally how we'd wrote, like from the last album where you talked to us, the Fifth Row, we all in a room and working on stuff together, or at least in like pairs or pods or things like that. That's how we've always worked. And then this last time, things start to, get shut down, and it's like, well, okay, so what do we do? What do we do now? And so we ended up writing this thing very differently than the last album, which actually played to our strengths a little bit, I think, in a way that we haven't done before. So basically this has been 3 years cooking. And now finally this past week, we put out a track called Best Is Yet to Come from Coming of Age. And we're getting great responses. We are, we got over 3,000 streams on Spotify alone within this week. It's been nice. It's been nice to that. Apparently people have been waiting for this too. So it's very gratifying.
How difficult was it as a band to be stuck in the pandemic like that? And plus, were you thinking like, man, is this ever going to see like the light of day? Because who knows where your head's going to be when this all comes out and everything's okay. I mean, it's like, are we going to seriously move forward with this album and this song? I mean, are we going to just start over? Because I mean, a lot of bands are sick at that time, like, well, let's move on. I'm tired of this. I don't want to think about this no more.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. I definitely know what you're talking about, because there's a lot of people that we, friends of ours and other bands and things, that had that feeling where it was like, why am I even bothering, and kind of getting into the mire. But to be honest, this record is one of the only things that helped me personally and a bunch of the other guys through, was writing this and a side project that I did. We had, on top of the pandemic, all of us in the band had some significant issues in our lives and tragedies and things like this. And to be honest, one of the only, other than my wife and my dog, one of the only things that got me through was focusing on getting the best writing that we possibly could and getting the best takes and crafting this album. It really helped us through a dark time.
Now I want to jump back here for just a little bit. We're going back down memory lane for the old people who, not old people, but the people who had Xboxes back in the day, the original Xboxes, like I did.
Oh yeah.
When games were really good back in the day. So the band broke new ground as the first unsigned artist to be featured in the popular Harmonix / MTV Games video game series Rock Band, which you guys enjoyed success on this Xbox platform. How big was this for you guys? And did that really start to open the door for you all?
Yeah, it definitely did. Especially with the subset of people who wouldn't have heard us before, or would have been hard to hear us. We got approached by some subsidiary and said, we're looking for other. This thing is exploding, and we're looking for other bands that aren't on a major label that have good songs to play through. And would you be able to contribute? We're like, yeah, that sounds amazing. Sure. We all love games, and we all played Rock Band. I'm famously terrible at it. I can't even play my own parts, but that's another story. But the cool part was that we were able to, because of the nature of my band, do things to actually just the physical get in the game that a lot of other bands can't do. I mean, like, for instance, we had to send all our individual instruments to them, which we could do since we did a lot of self-recording. We also had to write out in musical notation exactly what we were playing, or else get someone to do it. And we ended up doing that because they had to sort of match the different parts. So we were able to do that, which a lot of other bands don't really have the facility to do necessarily, or they'll have to pay a lot of money to have someone do it for them. So since we were able to do that, and people liked our songs, we got up on Rock Band, and then all of a sudden we're getting messages from people to oh, I love this song. I never heard this song before. And we had some people do covers of it. It was in different styles. It was really great. And we haven't had like a ton of video games, but we were also, more recently, we actually had a song called The Architect from our last album on NASCAR Heat 4 video game. So that song is actually in that one too. And that brought us to a whole new audience of people. In our minds, NASCAR and my band Mile Marker Zero don't necessarily go hand. You wouldn't think of a NASCAR fan being like a fan of us, but apparently that's not the case, because people playing this game, we still get a ton of streams every month from people on NASCAR playlists. So it's a really great thing. And hopefully with a new album, we'll get into another thing too, and widen out the audience even further.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of great bands that's being on Xbox games, like you said, NASCAR especially. I remember hearing Nonpoint.
Oh yeah,
I remember hearing Nonpoint on there.
Yeah,
for our game. But there's so many great songs that's on these games, and people don't realize it's bands you've heard of before, and you're like, who is that?
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun, and it's great to get messages from people who ordinarily would not necessarily listen to us, and then they listen to us and they end up becoming fans, which is a huge compliment.
How's the fans feedback been on the release of the new single Messages to Come so far, man? What's you guys fired for with it?
Oh, well, I mean, it's been great. I mean, it's been a week. Today we're dropping a lyric video on YouTube for the song as well. So I'm interested to see. I mean, we got a great animation from, I don't know if you know the band All the Pretty Things, but Logan from All the Pretty Things is also a great animator. So we talked to him about doing a visualizer version. He made like a legit music video. I say lyric video because I've seen some that are just a black screen with lyrics, but this is like full out. So we're excited for that. And the response to the song so far has been universally positive, and which is really, I mean, maybe we just haven't reached enough people yet to start the haters yet, but that's going to happen. But the thing that's interesting is that this record is definitely, it's coming at what we do from a little bit of a different angle. And we definitely have evolved a bit. We did have one listening party at Prague Stock Music Festival in October, and this was sort of a pre-party to kind of just let's play it in a great sound system and have people who are fans of ours and new people listen to it. And we were hoping that playing the new music, you were going to get a bunch of we want people to like it, but it actually ended up moving people in a way that we weren't really expecting. And I guess that's you don't a lot of times you just don't know how it's going to be received, and so you hope it's good, but you still write it for you at the end. But that being said, everything we've heard so far has been just very supportive of our band. And I think I was talking to my keyboard player, Mark, who's an amazing musician, and he said something to the effect of, I didn't realize how many people were like supporting us and championing us, and we're really excited about the new album. We knew our core fans, but we've been getting messages from all over the place, people we never even knew listened to us. So far it's been really gratifying.
Is this album completed right now, or are you guys still riding on this?
No, it's it's totally in the can. It's been, to be honest, it's been done fully mixed and everything for close to a year. We were trying to get some ducks in a row for distribution and some other things that we really wanted to nail down for this, and so it took a while, and now we're gearing up to put some singles out and then release the record by late spring, early summer. So it's all ready, all good to go, and then now we get to do the fun part, which is have people listen to it and then go out and play.
Any track standing out more than any right now that's on this album right now that you can talk about?
Yeah, I mean, I can tell you a little bit about the flow of the album. We haven't talked about the track listing or anything yet. But this album, okay, so let's compare this to the last album. Our last album was a concept album in sort of a rich prog rock tradition about AI and the future of humanity, like real sort of sci-fi kind of topics. And it was the album was a bit colder as far as, we told a story, it was a concept, there was a whole thing. And so when we went into doing this record, we were like, all right, we're not going to do that. We already did. We can't top what we did on the Fifth Row. For the new stuff, let's not write about a concept. Let's try to make this a little bit more personal and warmer. We just kind of felt like we wanted to go there. But we're definitely not doing a concept. Except as we started writing, it turned out that it's not a concept in terms of like there's a story, but really each song is a sort of a vignette in time about growing up, nostalgia, coming to terms with your life and where you're at. And so like each song has a slice of life in sort of a conceptual way. We just can't help ourselves, I guess. So each one of the songs, while they all stick together, they kind of sonically and musically and lyrically and things have different sort of angles of approaches. So like, for instance, I can tell you one of the singles we are going to put out, I don't know the order yet, is called Bizarre. And Bizarre is a lot more of a, it's hard to say, maybe like it sort of starts off like it's going to be sort of a ballad of some kind and a little bit more straight ahead, and then the band comes in really loud at the end, and it has a very different sort of vibe than Best Is Yet to Come. And you're going to hear when you listen to these tracks sort of out of sequence, you'll say, oh, okay, I can see how these will be on the same album, but there's like a different, this one has a particular sort of smell, this one has a little bit different. But when you hear the whole thing all together, you're going to see sort of the arc of how we wrote and sequenced the album, which I know that's an old-fashioned thing to do that people don't really do anymore in the days of singles and stuff, but we don't care if we're old-fashioned or not, because that's what we like to do and that's what we do best.
What does each of you bring to this band that just makes the chemistry work for you all?
Oh man. Well, I've never seen another band operate like we do. We come from a place musically anyway of everyone gets a say, everyone gets to put in, everyone gets to put their 2 cents in. We're very democratic when it comes to that, which makes things take forever to write until everybody's happy. Most bands have a songwriter or two, and what they say goes, and everyone else plays what they say. That's how most bands work, and that is a more efficient way to do it. But we've never done that, and we won't do that. Even if we do have particular members start a song or have write a bulk of a song, we always have leeway and room for our members. So in that way, the chemistry works because we just we humor every idea. If it's like, I think we should play this part like this, let's try it. We'll try it. I think I want to use this sound on the keyboard. Okay, let's try it. Like we'll cycle through probably too many things to get to a point where we're all at least mostly or fully happy with everything we do. So that makes things difficult in one sense, especially as far as timeliness goes. Anybody knows our band, the last album came out 5 years ago, so you can understand why that would be. But we all end up, it's like the phrase greater than the sum of its parts is definitely how I feel about this band. But I mean, the three sort of principal writers, it's me on guitar, Dave Alley, who's my lead singer, and Mark Focarile, my keyboard player. So us three are sort of lead the songwriting efforts, at least initially. But Doug, my drummer, he is he's so good, and he intuitively picks up what we're trying to do and then just elevates it to another level. And then my bass player, Jaco, is not only a multi-instrumentalist. He plays bass incredibly. He plays drums incredibly. He plays guitar. He sings, but he also mixed this record for us. So he got a hand in the sonic palette from the very get-go, which is really cool that we can keep so many of these things in-house and have such talented people. I'm very lucky.
Was it difficult to pick and choose what songs you wanted to play during the live set? And is there any songs that's not been played live yet that you want to add into that set list for you guys?
Ooh, that's good. Well, the truth is we've only played one. This Best Is Yet to Come, the single. That's the only song we've ever played together live yet. We did it as sort of a preview. We had a couple gigs last year once the restrictions had lifted and we could play, some stuff we were excited to play. We hadn't done any real playing other than a festival here or there in a while. So that song we actually played, and it was awesome. So I hope we're going to actually play all the songs from the new disc when we actually start gearing up the playing in around summertime, end of spring.
All right, so now we're just going to get to know John, just John himself, not mile marker zero, just John himself and what he likes as far as music. So if you could write an album, John, equivalent to your favorite band's album, which album would that be possibly? I know you've got a ton of favorite ones, but there's got to be one that you could say, if I could write an album, I want to write something close to this one.
Oh man, that is so hard. Well, the reason it's so hard is that I have a huge range of influences of things that I love, and it's not all rock and metal too. I really like all sorts of things. I like jazz. I like classical music. I went to school for jazz guitar. What do I think is a perfect record? Okay, I think a perfect record that I would love to be have a record on the level of this would be Fear of a Blank Planet by Porcupine Tree. That is I can always go back to that album, and I feel like it's perfect in every way, from the message behind everything, to the incredible playing of everybody, to the songwriting of Steven Wilson, and the incredible sonic mix of that. I mean, that would be, if I could be on that level, I would be thrilled.
If you could be a member in an iconic band and play one of their legendary shows, which band would that be? What show would it be, John?
Oh, okay. Well, I got one. I'll do a local one. I would like to be in Van Halen. I would be Eddie Van Halen, my giant hero. I'd be playing at the concert they filmed right near my hometown in New Haven, Connecticut. But they called it New Halen back for their Live Without a Net DVD. And when did that come out? 1988. That was the one. The Hartford Civic Center, which is demolished. It's not there anymore. That would be the one.
It's so crazy that people are still learning Eruption. I'm trying to play that song.
I know. He was the last great innovator of the electric guitar. And there's been a lot of amazing players after Eddie, but no one that's affected how literally anybody playing electric guitar since then has to reckon with. It's really incredible. And before him was like Hendrix.
Do you have a time when the new album Coming of Age will be released tentatively, or no?
Yeah, I mean, we're doing this smarter than we did before. I think it's smarter. We normally, in the past, we just line up everything and go, okay, it's coming out here no matter what, and we'll go play. And this time around, we decided to do it a little bit smarter, which is to release some singles between 6 and 8 weeks apart, depending on how much traction we're getting, how much feedback we're getting, and actually do something that we should have done years ago, which is dive into the analytics to find out, well, who is listening to this? Where are they? Where's the biggest? Like we literally just did this. It's been a week since Best Is Yet to Come came out. We went yesterday to see where the most plays are coming from around the world, because then maybe we can actually put this, when we put this thing out, we have a plan, we can go play. And the top 3 places, LA is number 1, New York is number 2, and then Paris is number 3.
Wow.
So knowing this shapes how we are going to, I mean, that's probably going to change over time and things, but that's going to sort of shape how and when we put this thing out. The tentative plan is for the end of spring, early summer, like the whole album will be out first week of June, maybe a little bit before. If we're not getting any traction on a particular song, then we'll probably put another one out before, a couple weeks or something like that. But it's kind of cool to be in a place, and technologically even, to just be like, let's see where this goes, Oh man, we're getting a huge response. Okay, so maybe we put it off by a week, the next single, and let's see what we can do. Let's find where those people are,
All right, John, how can you stay in touch with Mile Marker Zero? Pick up this new single entitled Best Is Yet to Come, all your old stuff, man. And plus this new upcoming album coming up. How can you do that, sir?
Okay. Well, if you want to listen to it and stream it, it's on, just look up Mile Marker Zero on Spotify. It'll be the featured track, or Apple Music or Amazon, any of those places. You can get in touch with us if you want to purchase the files, which a lot of our fans do want to. We just put it up on our Bandcamp, which is bandcamp.com/mmzofficial. And then if you're looking on the socials, it'll be facebook.com/milemarker0. And then everywhere else, the Instagram, the TikTok, that's MMZ official. And the best way to link all that, so you don't have to remember that, just go to milemarker0.com and everything will be there.
And I'm also going to have all these links in this podcast post. That way, everybody well.
Okay. Awesome.
Everybody stick around. We got some great stuff coming up. You only hear this interview right here on BODS Mayhem Hour. Please go out to our YouTube page and subscribe if you like what I've done. Hope you guys and gals do. Please give this band a fair shot. Mile Marker Zero. Pick up this new single, Best Is Yet to Come. Plus all their other stuff we have, you won't be disappointed. So, John, I wish you guys, as always, about the best of luck. Thank you for coming back on the podcast.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.